I refer to him as the CEO of Team Davis. You look after our finances, operations, logistics.
And who makes dinner?
Both of us. I wouldn't.
And then who does the dishes?
There's no ratio there. That's 100% me. Yeah.
Stephen and Janelle Davis don't run a typical household.
We don't need to make any changes to it.
While Janelle leads her team as Chief Commercial Officer of baby stroller brand Bugaboo,
This taupe color, everyone's responding really well to it, I think because it's gender neutral.
Stephen is at home, working just as hard. As more women reach the highest rungs of the corporate ladder, increasingly by their side, husbands like Stephen, taking a step back from their own careers to care for their families.
You have a graduate degree, you were in supply chain management, you had a career. What was the hardest part of stepping away from your career?
Just the unknown. You don't really know what it's going to be like. Figuring out a routine, balancing the housework with childcare. So it was a good challenge.
In what ways has this choice helped your career?
I think that I'm fully focused when I'm at work because I know that my family's sorted.
The Davis family is part of a growing trend in the U.S. A recent study found that nearly 1 in 5 stay-at-home parents is the dad.
We see a lot of trad wives on TikTok, and we see this throwback to the stay-at-home mom perfection, and we're seeing more stay-at-home dads as well. What makes me happy is that more people are having choice.
Some have dubbed these kinds of dads house husbands.
You push back against terms like Mr. Mom or house husband.
Because it's disparaging. It sort of minimizes what you're doing.
In pop culture, stay-at-home dads are often portrayed as bumbling, fumbling figures.
Where's Bobby keep the extra diapers?
From Michael Keaton ironing a grilled cheese sandwich in Mr. Mom.
How'd it go in there?
I missed.
What does that mean?
I missed.
To Eddie Murphy, babysitting toddlers in daddy daycare. But now famous men from David Beckham to Doug Emhoff are gladly stepping away from their careers to support their families in other ways.
To my beloved Doug and our family, I love you so very much.
Maroon 5's Adam Levine speaking on the Ellen DeGeneres Show after quitting The Voice in 2019.
Just to be able to kind of stop in this moment to spend time with my new young family and just have the greatest time ever. Now I'm just like a stay-at-home dad.
Even younger stars like Tom Holland telling Men's Health magazine earlier this year, when I have kids, you will not see me in movies anymore.
When you're out with friends and you're out with, alpha males who are, hard-charging career people, do you feel judged?
I don't, honestly. I've come to own it from the very beginning. Sometimes I have hesitations on how to explain what do I do all day, because some people might have a perception that I'm just folding towels all day.
Now he's out and about picking up their 7-year-old daughter and 4-year-old son from school, teaching them to ride bikes.
Yeah!
And helping with homework.
Heb je van de leed gehoord?
All in Stephen's native language, Dutch.
Koelkast?
Ja, wat is hier op dit plaatje?
He has a special connection with our children, and I'm grateful for that. While his contribution to our family is not in the financial sense, it's really in his presence, his stability, the joy that they feel.
The Davises say they've had no regrets since making the decision 4 years ago. They say they realize their family is lucky to be able to afford to live on just one income.
Have you felt the need to cut corners financially because you don't have 2 income streams?
When we ran the numbers, we also saved money by not having childcare, right? Like I was the childcare, so we didn't have to make huge sacrifices in terms of like lifestyle. But again, we were never really leading a flaunting lifestyle, I think, so.
For you, what was the hardest part of making this decision?
Honestly, that I felt like I was missing out a little bit.
Hi. Janelle says she works to maximize her time with her family, leaving the office by 4:30 each day and putting her phone away until 8.
Did you have a good day? Yeah.
That fully helps me be present mom, do what I need to do at work, guide my team, come back home, cherish the time with my family.
They say the decision has had a positive impact on their kids.
What do you think you're modeling for both your daughter and for your son?
Probably to not focus too much on gender roles and more so like, hey, we are a team, right?
I don't think that they have even an association of these are mom jobs and these are dad jobs.
In fact, one study found that when fathers did more equitable housework at home, daughters in particular expressed a greater interest in working outside the home and having a less stereotypical occupation.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. This is our biggest Company of Dads meetup ever.
Paul Sullivan, a dad of 3 daughters, has created a community for what he calls lead dads.
We define a lead dad as the go-to parent, whether he works full-time, part-time, or devote all of his time to his family. We say, in many cases, he's there to support his wife or partner, whatever they're doing.
After quitting his job as a New York Times columnist, he founded the Company of Dads in 2022, a networking group for fathers, working or not, in similar situations.
There's a lot of stigmas surrounding stay-at-home dads.
There's power in numbers, right? And just being able to have people to connect with.
More dads need to be aware and need to be comfortable with the idea of taking on a role of just being a dad.
When did you recognize the need for a Company of Dads?
When I went online and I saw there are tons of resources for moms. All the resources for parents were really aimed at moms.
Did you ever try to join one of the other parenting groups or the ones that were primarily female?
I went to the University of Chicago for graduate school, pretty great school. I had a better shot of getting into the University of Chicago than I do to get into the Facebook Moms group in my town.
Paul says he began prioritizing family over work around 2013, so his wife Laura could focus on building her own asset and wealth management firm.
There's this fear when you're a working mom that you're neglecting the kids.
Because there's a guilt. There's a built-in guilt. But at the end of the day, if you have a good partnership and you can encourage your spouse to take on more of the second shift, I call it, then it actually works for a better marriage.
I think it's important to point out, too, that oftentimes equal partnership at home leads to better relationships, even better sex lives. Over time, when you're both contributing to the house, when you're both contributing to caregiving, neither one of you is going to feel bitter or resentful towards each other.
What's it like being the devoted wife, supporting your husband's lead parenting career? What makes you proud of him for doing that?
That he's doing something that is not normalized yet and trying to blaze a trail for, selfishly, my girls as women. It's hard. I work in an industry that is really hard for women to be in. So I celebrate that.
Back in New York City, Stephen Davis says his role as a stay-at-home father has helped him reconnect with himself.
During my son's nap times, I would spend time on a children's book that I wrote and illustrated with my wife. The story is about a dog who was comparing himself to others. The same way as I never made my job my identity, I didn't want me being a dad just being my full identity.
Do you see yourself returning to a more traditional career down the road?
Never say never, but right now I'm just kind of living in the present, how cliche that may sound, and really enjoying this.
The children sense that. He's so proud of what he does. He's so happy. We've made this work.